And welcome. This is the fourth video, and on the first three I talked about a ground or a color field, and that would be sort of phase one or stage one. Stage two was sort of the middle ground, and that was laying over images or something similar to that nature, which you could say that's an image, although I did put that in the ground, but it sort of can move over. And then I have other images here, which I'll talk about the painting and how things progress there. But I did want to talk about picture files and why this is important, at least to my work, and the dialogue and the development that I take from going from the color field to laying stuff on. So now I've been looking at the work a few days. If I had other pieces going on, I'd be hopefully working on other ones, but I have this going on now. So the picture file is pretty important, but it covers a wide range. I talked about silkscreen. And silkscreen first, the first process is I take an image, a photocopy image. I select whatever I want. Some of these images are images I've made. Some of them are images that other people made, like this one here. This is from a file from the 60s of a psychiatric patient taking art therapy. Of course, anonymous and long gone, but I find my sources everywhere and I put them into an organized file. And the file has the photocopy. The second part is very important. It's the transparency with black on it, the ink of the image. And this is what I'm going to put on a photosensitive sheet similar to this, and I expose it out in the sun. I've been doing this for years, and it's similar to silkscreen. This is some type of silk or screen that the photo emulsion is on. It's exposed and then washed out. The difference is a silkscreen, that's a bigger commitment. You have to have a lot more equipment, light exposure equipment, developing equipment. You got to coat your screen. It's a lot more money and time. If I had an assistant, I'd probably use it. But this is great. So I can take images that are 8.5 by 11. Also, they do have larger sizes. I'll tell you now, it's easy screen. There are very few people who make this, but I count on it. Now that's one, all right? So ultimately, that goes on and I screen it on. I hope to show that later on. But there's other ways too. Hold on. I also take file paper, folders, and I cut and make stencils. That's another way. Another way is I take images, signs, and symbols, and I project them on the canvas itself. You have to be thinking about the color and everything else when you're doing that and how that's going to transfer. But those are all reproductive processes, and that's important to what I do. And it also has something to do with drawing. Drawing is a separate craft, but drawing and painting, multiple uses, multiple ways. It's all sort of pulling things out, and that's why in phase two, the middle ground, that's where I'm going. I'm sitting and looking at the painting, and I'm thinking about what I can push out of it, what I can pull out of it, And that's what I'm going to go to next. But I wanted to go over some of the importance of the picture file. Like, I have been collecting images for 20 years, and I have files of stuff, and I'm always looking for new stuff. A lot of it I get from books, stuff online, stuff I search for, and sometimes it can be just a big Gallia type that I need to, something like that. The nature of the images, based on where and how I'm using it, can take on different meanings. That's why I love it so much. If you are conceiving an idea or drawing something, you are focused on a singular thing. But, I can put a flower on a field, and it can mean one thing. But if I put a flower next to a bomb, it can mean another thing. But also I'm incorporating all the skills of a painter: balance, shape, size, color, relationship. All of those things are things that are on my mind. So this is 4, and what I'm going to do, because I don't want to make it too long, is I'm going to do another part for 4. So let's say this is A. The next part will be B, and we'll go right to the painting, and I'll talk about that. All right, thanks for watching.